to Fatherhood for the Rest of Us with Brandon Handley. Because you're already great at everything else, why not fatherhood too?
Hey there, podcast listeners. This is Brandon Handley. I am your host. I am the creator, the producer, the researcher, the guy that handles the podcast, and also the voice of a generation. Guys, today I'm coming to you to discuss just kind of a, I guess, semantics issue, really. It came to my attention. I was listening to, or I was looking up, best ways to discipline your child, and I found, or maybe I heard a definition, and the definition really is, the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior. Now, in this one, it says using, this is a definition that just comes up right from Google, but it says to use punishment to correct disobedience. So disobedience, is one way to try and think of, I guess, when you're trying to teach somebody or train somebody the rules or code of behavior, then you would use punishment. What punishments? That's up to you. Now, some of the synonyms that come up in this is control, training, teaching, instruction, direction, authority. I'm reading off a couple, but I haven't committed to memory. I'm just trying to build something here for us because I have kind of a, I guess, a thought that maybe we're not all really aware of what it means to discipline someone or something, and or what it means to have discipline in something, and there's also a couple other words that I just want to, that all relate, that I really want to share them with us, because again, I just don't think that we've thought of them too often in recent times. So this is also another definition is discipline is a branch of knowledge, typically one studied in higher education. Subject area or specialty, and we think of, I know when I think of disciplines, I don't know about you, when you're thinking of discipline, I think of different types of karates or martial arts. That's what I think of. And then the other part of this is the Latin origins of discipline, and if we get in there, it says disciplicis, but disciplina, that's instruction and knowledge. Used in the Middle English sense, it says here that in the sense of mortification by scourging one. So that just seems uncomfortable. But if I go in, and I love Google, kind of show you the use over time, and you can see that there's going from like the 1800s to around 1850, we had a fairly high usage of it, a fair usage of it, with a moderate decline through the early 1900s, and it kind of comes up like maybe like a 12% grade over until recent times. Now, again, I want to call attention to the root of the word being instruction and knowledge, and then I, let's say, all right, well, if you're disciplining, or if you're in a discipline, doesn't that make you a disciple of what you're being taught, right? So if you're being a disciple of what you're being taught, and we go ahead and we just go pull up the word disciple, we can see there that and I have a problem with the first one being a personal follower of Jesus during his life, especially one of the 12 apostles, synonyms being apostle and follower. I think that can be kind of, I would eradicate that personally, because it's really a follower or a student of a teacher, leader, or philosopher. So, and when you're a disciple, you're literally just learning from somebody. A lot of us talk about mentors and mentorship, and you could use disciple and being of that discipline, whoever, being of the Jim Rohn discipline, being of the Zig Ziglar discipline, being of the Anthony Robbins, being any of those are interchangeable, and the usage of disciple looks like it really kind of had a heyday up around the 1850s, and kind of petered out. It's kind of bringing back a little bit around now, but it doesn't really seem to have much use. And for me, I think that it ends up being, and you could tell me the same thing, is maybe to you it means that's a problem. When you first hear disciple, that means that you're a follower of Jesus, and that to me, that's not that shouldn't be the first thing that comes to mind. Obviously, it's going to relate real easily, and maybe the first, but to me, you would want to think of being a follower or a student of a teacher, leader, philosopher. So you'd be a disciple of one of those guys. And it really kind of then I'm like, well, it kind of we get all of that. We get if you're in if you have a certain type of discipline, then you are a follower. You're in a course of study. If you are a disciple, you are a follower of that study, and that's what you work in. And then we come to disciplinarian, and the first word I find on there is a person who's very strict about punishing bad behavior, a person who uses discipline as a way of making sure that rules or orders are obeyed. And I think somewhere in there, I'm pretty sure we lost track somewhere in there. We lost track, and because if you go through again and you look at the discipline origin, you're gonna find that is instruction and knowledge, right? And then if you go over to the disciple origin, then that's gonna be that you're a follower, or you're an adherent, or you're a believer, admirer, devotee of a certain teacher, which really means that a disciplinarian should actually equate closer to a teacher than a taskmaster, or somebody that's gonna beat you mercilessly, put you in a corner for just not doing the right thing. And so I had to go and I was like, what, if I'm a disciplinarian, give me the Latin root of that. What does that mean? And so I, again, Google, finding definitions, and I think that this is the truth of anything. If you are seeking an answer, you will find it, and it only makes sense. But if we get to if we get over to what does it mean to be a disciplinarian, I was able to come up to disciplina and discipline with disciplinarian. Here I googled again, what does it mean to be Arian? What is that when I put that into the Latin root? Let's dig it all the way up, and let's see what we're holding here. And here it makes the most sense, and it says disciplinarian is a person who promotes the orderly observance of the rules. That makes sense. That makes sense. That is no different to me than the teacher teaching certain laws of physics. Your science teacher, any teacher of general knowledge, any knowledge really. When you're being taught, you're essentially being taught to follow a certain observance of rules. You're gonna have that in English. You're gonna have that in you're gonna have that in math. You're gonna have that in all of your sciences. And so, Brandon, what's all this? Where are you going with this? Where I'm going with this is that when we discipline our children, or if we're saying that they don't have the discipline that they need, what I hear in my own head is that they have not been taught properly. And to me, if I'm just using all this setup here, is that we are disciplinarians, so we're teachers. The children are our disciples, and we need to teach them. We need to teach them as best we can, and we want to do it in an orderly fashion. And then we want to apply, have them study that discipline, our discipline, what we're teaching them. So what I'm really trying to say, when we say discipline, I think we need to step away from the punishment aspect and just say, the kid doesn't have enough discipline. What that means is they haven't been taught correctly. It means that they haven't gotten the tutelage or the knowledge that's required. And I feel that that's on me. That's on me. I can't expect them to leave every day and come back with a different type of knowledge than I can't expect them to go out and acquire discipline outside of what I'm willing to teach them. Or if the discipline that I'm seeing within them, if what they're learning isn't what I believe to be good enough, then it is up to me to right that wrong. For me to say, go sit in a corner because you've misbehaved, doesn't seem like the appropriate use of the word discipline. To maybe send them over, maybe have them take a break and say, hey, listen, I need you to, let's sit over here, let's discuss what just happened, and let's talk about why I'm asking you to step away, why I'm asking you to I need to teach you in an orderly manner, using my parental authority to again, here we go, teach them the mental aspects that are needed that I feel that's necessary. So guys, I'm trying, sorry if it goes into like a weird space, but I just really I wanted to share that because it was top of mind for me, and sometimes I feel that over time some words have the possibility of getting overused or misused or used in the wrong context or used in a context, and we may or may not know exactly what it is that they mean. Or we've got an idea of the context, in context, but sometimes there's more to it. And I just want to share that with you. Whew. Ha ha! Hey, if you have not joined in the Facebook group, Fatherhood for the Rest of Us, in Facebook, then go ahead. If you're looking for to join up with some like-minded guys who are supporting each other, sharing their dreams, talking about their dreams, helping each other out, it's not necessarily a confession area or anything like that. But if this is if you haven't found your spot yet, and you're still looking for a place where you can go and have conversation and not be judged, or if you're seeking wisdom from others, it doesn't necessarily have to, not even from me, but if you're looking for a place that really welcomes you, embraces you, and lets you be you, if you haven't found that place yet, then make sure you head over to Fatherhood for the Rest of Us on Facebook and join the group. It is a closed group, so you can certainly let loose in there. Make sure that you just let me know. I'll make sure that you get the entry in there. And then if you haven't gotten on the weekly mailer, I've just started that up. So go ahead over to Facebook or fatherhoodfortherestofus.com. Get signed up over there. and I'll start sending you the fabulous fatherly tips once a week. Make sure you're getting in on those so that you can keep it going. A lot of them, the first one I did really is focusing on mindset and not necessarily a lot of I think the same tips you're maybe getting from somebody else, but those may come too, right? Where can we spend more time with our children? What can we do with our wives? What are some ways that I've personally found? What are some ways that I found online? And bring it to you. Let me be a resource for you. I'd love to be able to do that. Then head on over to Fatherhood for the Rest of Us and sign up for that. And then if you do that during the month of July through mid-August of 2017, I will also enter you in to win an Android watch. And you can also win that Android watch by going over to iTunes and leaving a review and a rating, and send over a snapshot of that to Brandon at fatherhoodfortherestofus.com. There's going to be 2 winners. I can't wait. I can't wait to see who wins those, and I really am looking forward to sharing that with you guys. Take it easy.